It's October 14th, which means tomorrow is our extended deadline for individual tax returns and C corporations. So if you have extended your personal tax return or a C corporation with a 4/15 due date, tomorrow is your extension deadline. And I'm seeing a lot of questions being asked by tax professionals, by individuals and C corporations about whether or not that deadline will be further extended, because currently the IRS is in a shutdown. And so how does that affect our extended deadline? You have to realize that the system that is accepting those electronically filed tax returns, it's electronic, it's still up. We've been submitting to it all week. It is accepting these tax returns, sending acknowledgments, it is functioning. So being able to electronically submit your tax return, nothing is going wrong there. It's functioning just fine. When it comes to mailing in your tax return, the IRS can still receive mail, right? The USPS is still functioning. So you can still mail your actual tax return, and the IRS will look to see either when that tax return was mailed or when it was delivered to the IRS post office or PO box, wherever you're mailing it. So they'll be able to see when it was mailed and when it was received. And depending on the type of postage, that date is going to be your submission date. Okay, so there's nothing stopping you from being able to timely file your tax returns for extension season unless you're in a situation to where you're just not ready. But the IRS is not going to recognize that as a reason to extend any deadlines further. So if you're wondering if you can get away with not filing by tomorrow, probably not, unless you don't mind penalties, right? So make sure that you get your tax return in. If you need to call the IRS, some people are still able to get through to the IRS. So even though the IRS is in a shutdown, that doesn't mean that the IRS is completely shut down. That doesn't mean that there's no employees at the IRS. That means that there's a very, very limited amount of staff at the IRS. It's still partially functioning. Okay, so if you need to call the IRS for some reason, you may actually receive an answer. But as for tomorrow, still a deadline. Taxes are still due. So sorry. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get an extension.